Statutes of limitation for the FDCPA, how long you have to sue the debt collectors. This video is for people who are being sued by debt collectors and wondering whether they should file a counterclaim or whether they should file a separate lawsuit. If they have a claim at all, of course. If this is a concern for you, you should also watch our videos on res judicata and compulsory counterclaims. The three videos were designed to be seen in a group. This video is brought to you by yourlegallagup.com, your advantage if you're being sued by debt collectors. If you're being sued by a debt collector, you will sometimes have a choice whether or not to file a counterclaim or whether you could file a separate suit. Part of the question is whether you will be able to at all. That's a question of res judicata. And then you also have to watch the time. Passing time can make the lawsuit go away. Statutes of limitation are times limitations on how long you have before you have to file a suit or lose it. Almost every law has one. Murder and certain tax laws don't. After that, people shouldn't have to worry about the distant past. That's the theory behind the statute of limitations. In the case of the FDCPA, that statute of limitations is just 1 year. That means that absent special reasons, which are rare, you must bring your lawsuit within 1 year of the time the debt collector broke the law. It sounds like a simple concept. In many situations, what it means is pretty clear, but in others, not so much. If you sent a cease communications letter to a debt collector, for example, 1 month before it filed suit, and in the following weeks it called you 10 times, that is, violating the FDCPA, you would have 1 year from the date of the last call to sue it for that. Time would be ticking away. What if you sent a dispute letter and the debt collector failed to verify the debt and then filed suit against you? That's a violation of the FDCPA. Does the statute of limitations start on the date the debt collector filed suit or on the last day of that suit? The courts are divided. The law is not strictly clear, but I would hate to be asking a court to take the longer view. You can't really count on them to do that. What about if the suit was filed in the wrong jurisdiction? You know that violates the FDCPA. Does the statute of limitations start on the day the suit was filed or when you were served? The federal courts of appeal are divided. Some say one, some say the other. And the state courts all have their own opinions too, so you have to research to find them out. If the question is close and you find out that your state and federal courts have different interpretations of that issue, you can choose which one to bring your lawsuit in. Research. That's what you need to do. Find out. In my opinion, the statute should run from the date that you find out about the suit. That's when the harm actually occurs as a practical matter. Then you have to hire a lawyer to defend yourself or do it yourself or risk default. If you had to, you could figure out a way to make that argument, I'm sure. What if the suit is never served at all and default judgment is taken anyway? That happens a lot. That's called sewer service. Would these courts say that the statute wasn't violated because service was never actually completed? That doesn't make any sense. Here's the thing you should remember, though. Fighting over statutes of limitations should simply be avoided. You only do it if for some reason you've missed one statute of limitations, so you have to argue for another one. Lawyers often wait for the last possible day to file. Don't you do that. You don't have to most of the time, and you shouldn't. Statutes of limitations problems are often caused by carelessness. If that happens, you'll want to research the question more carefully to see what the ruling is in your jurisdiction. But most of the time, it shouldn't happen. Remember, this video is intended to be watched in conjunction with our videos on res judicata and compulsory counterclaims. If the reasons you're waiting on filing suit is that you want them to dismiss their case against you before you file against them, give them heck. Defend yourself from the debt collectors and don't let them rip you off. Please like this video, comment, and share it with others, as these things help other people find our materials. yourlegallagup.com